What?
We can Nance if we want to. If we own somebody will. Cause Republicans are rude and should be removed and act like they're imbecile. I say, Malcolm Nance.
Malcolm Nance.
Malcolm Nance. Trump is under Putin's control. We can Nance. We can Nance while Stephanie dances with a pole. Well, it's the Malcolm Nance. It's the Malcolm Nance.
Hi.
Well, it's the Malcolm Nance.
Hey, hi.
Hey, hello.
Hi, Black Superman. Hi.
Yes. And also the official liberation Negro of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. We like that.
Also, the new podcast, Black Man. It's called Black Man Spy, right? Is that the name of it? Did
Black
I get
Man
it right?
Spy.
Very exciting. Okay. And the book, of course, is They Want to Kill Americans. Where do we start this morning? So this Washington Post reporting, of course, is the breaking news that afraid FBI agents wanted to shut down Trump document probe before the Mar-a-Lago search. I mean, talk about someone being above the law, right? I mean, in all this whining that the FBI is biased against Trump or Republicans, right?
Yeah, you see these guys, they are sworn federal law enforcement officers. I'm afraid to say it. This explains a lot. We heard a lot about the New York field office.
Yeah.
They were all hot to take down Hillary Clinton. So the FBI does have people who have officers who have bias, and not just at the lowest levels, at the highest levels also. But this belief that the president of the United States and a president of the United States that has a lot of followers with a lot of guns is above the law is just absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah.
So you know what? You know what they need to do is they also need to isolate those officers.
Yeah.
And send them off to other assignments. Have them start investigating kidnapping cases or something else that will keep them out of the hot seat of politics. Because if they don't believe in the law, then maybe they need to find a job other than the FBI.
Thank you. That's what we were saying. And also, the fact that this is, how many times had Trump been fact-checked in a lie by that point? 50, 20,000, 50,000? So they were just like, oh, we believe him if he says there's no more documents there. Well, of course, the DOJ was right and overruled them that they had to do a search because, of course, he lied.
I'm going to explain this once again, how this works. Okay? These documents just don't come up on a printer and you just print them off and you keep them. Every document has a document control number, right? No matter how, this isn't the 60s, right? This is the modern world. So if it comes to the White House, there is a barcode on it. If that document is not returned back to the safe, the storage SCIF at the Department of Defense, Defense Intelligence Agency, CIA, especially CIA, because we have the human control system numbers, which keeps the names of our actual spies safe, they don't come back, we know those documents are missing.
Yeah.
So if those documents go over to the White House and they go, hey, there's 300 documents missing, you've got to go track them down. And they found the documents were gone, went to Mar-a-Lago. He did not return them. They swore that none of them were there. Finally, he defied them for a year. They raided, they found them. And you know what? Other documents are missing.
And Malcolm, can you talk about the true danger, as an intelligence expert, the true danger of releasing this J6 footage only to Tucker Carlson? And I don't know, Travis, what the timeline is. It sometime this week we're going to start seeing whatever Tucker's going to do with it? I don't know.
There hasn't been a timeline established.
Yeah.
His producers could be editing this as long as they want.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin McCarthy said yesterday, he goes, oh, well, we had an agreement with him that they wouldn't show pictures of the exits and how people move in the building. You gave him the property of the people of the United States, which shows all the security protocols, the security response in detail. Not just, Officer Eugene Goodman coming out with his baton and steering people up the wrong steps and showing there were cops at the top of the steps. No, every cop, every SWAT team, where they respond from, which hallways they use, how they clear hallways and buildings, how they secure people, how they evacuated individuals. You're giving away the whole farm in terms of the security of the United States Capitol. How he can be allowed to do that as Speaker of the House should be criminal, right? And then again, you want to flood it? Every news organization should be allowed to do this.
Well,
should be allowed. Exact same footage.
And legal experts at the same time are talking about if Fox can be held criminally liable for J6, and then there is this like just boatload of evidence that they knew they were telling the same lie and inciting violence, right?
How is the Sicknick family not filed charges yet? But the family of those officers who were injured, not filed civil liability against not only the president of the United States, but against Fox News for stoking and encouraging this attack and then lying about it, consciously, knowingly lying about it. Now, I leave this to Glenn Kirshner, to define what really is criminally liable. But I would be filing $1 billion lawsuit. Maybe they need the full Newtown treatment, where every family member files $1 billion lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They can afford it.
It strikes me as I'm looking at your brilliant book entitled "They Want to Kill Americans" about the ongoing Trump insurgency. Your thoughts on Marjorie Taylor Greene openly calling basically for civil war, for a national divorce.
How is someone not moved in the Congress to call for her expulsion?
Yeah.
Right? And citing the 14th Amendment to the United States, that you cannot carry out sedition. Opens talk of treason, of sedition in the Congress for the first time since 1860. Someone has called for the United States government to be overthrown in there, for the United States to split between red states and blue states. I mean, she's no better than Scott Adams, the Dilbert cartoonist, calling for whites to stay away from blacks. This is racism on a macro level. What kind of person? First off, we already know what kind of person this is, right? She is trying to be Donald Trump's running mate. We all know that. And she could most likely succeed in being his running mate. But we shouldn't have to tolerate open racism like that. Remember what one of the strategy documents said in the school debate. Let them call racism until it becomes whitewash and the word loses its meaning. No, not when you say it the way I say it. You're a racist.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody else is like, oh, my God, that's racism. You guys need to learn how to talk about these things and be just as shouty as I am.
Yes.
When it means
Alpha Liberals. That's it. T-shirts available at StephanieMiller.com. It's the way you take on people that come at you, over Ukraine and Russia. I don't know who this. Somebody said I'll introduce an American troll and opportunist, Jason Hinkle. Hinkle's best known for his pro-Russian and pro-Putin views, for his feeble attempts at getting attention, for his monetization of the Russo-Ukrainian war. And you said this mug is a Putin ally, right up here with other heroic friends of Russia, Steven Seagal and Edward Snowden. He's a military-age male that won't volunteer for an extended combat visit in Ukraine with the awesome Russian army. Hashtag cowards gonna cow.
That's not even, that's not the best tweet. The best tweet has a TAB reference in there.
Right.
So, Jason Hinkle. You know what? I fought and defended my entire life for the right for Jason Hinkle to be a traitor to the United States in word, not in deed. He works for Russia today. He's this young guy. He's the Nick Fuentes, neo-Nazi, clean-shaven clone who espouses nothing but Russian propaganda. He wears a Black Z T-shirt, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody made a very salient comment about that, and I'm sure someday somebody will try to engineer this. They said, don't say this in front of Malcolm's face. Don't. Yeah. Just don't, okay? There are people that take the mass murders of civilians in Ukraine very seriously. I have lost friends. I have lost co-workers in Ukraine now, men that have fought with me. Sorry, I'm not going to accept that. Like they said, the same thing that they say about Nazis. There's never a bad time to recalibrate them physically.
Very elegantly put, sir.
Yeah.
You and Elon Musk is one of them. Here he is doing this whole military analysis of what's happening in Ukraine, which sounds like a Putin talking point. And you said instead of being ignorant to war, Elon Musk could fly me first class to his island lair and let me explain with maps and experience to his face why he's absolutely wrong, but relies on idiots like Joe Rogan for intelligence. I mean,
and intelligence is in quotes. Kim.com, that big, fat, grits-eating mug, right? I mean, this is his idea of where he gets it. He goes, Ukraine should be on the absolute defensive. Huge Russian offensive coming. Look, okay, I am in full contact with my units and other units in Ukraine. Here's what's happening. Russians are getting killed. But you know what? If you go onto that thread and you see the responses, here's my favorite, okay? Now I've got a new strategy. I don't know if you're going to touch on it. I just bet people, right? Just straight up. I had a guy come up to me the other day and said, you never fired a shot in Ukraine. You never did anything in Ukraine. My favorite one, your uniform is clean, right? It's like, what? And I go, okay, you got $10,000? Let's go. That's the bet now.
Yeah.
I'm not accepting any more discussion. You put your money where your mouth is. If you don't pony up to this bet and you don't bring documentable proof, or you don't fly with me to Kiev and go through my uniforms and underwear to see whether they've been used over the last year, you lose the bet.
Listen, I know a lot of women that would like to take that offer up to go through your underwear, but that's an entirely different story.
Hey.
What? Don't I?
This is don't worry, babe. It's like a Japanese vending machine for you. But my point was, you challenge these people. I had 3 major non-takers. One had 300,000 followers. They blocked me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. Exactly. Malcolm putting his money where his mouth is, Nance. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen. Read his Substack, get his book, They Want to Kill Americans, and the new podcast is Black Man Spy. We love you. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Now I'm thinking about his underwear. Okay.
Stephanie.